Provo Beast here doing another installation. Today we are working on a 2006 Toyota Tacoma. We're going to replace the factory unit with an aftermarket one. I'll put a list of parts down below what we're using. We're using the Pioneer DEHX 4800BT. Great unit. Done a couple videos. I've done an unboxing, which you're more than likely going to see a link down at the bottom. So if you want to see exactly what comes with this unit and what features it has, check that video out. This dash kit and wiring harness I'll post down below. This unit specifically has steering wheel controls. So we're using the ASWC one, which you'll find a link below. This unit, used it in all of my other videos. The way this one is set up. Wiring harness, I'll post a link to doing Toyota wiring harness. You know how this all hooks together, but basically matching it up by color. But in addition, because this has steering wheel controls, I used the power and ground. As you can see, it just kind of tapped into that as well. So the ASWC one has power and ground, so it turns on when the ignition's on. And then the only two wires in this whole bundle of wires for the steering wheel control module adapter you need is the brown and green and the black and green. I'm sorry, green and orange, and then the black and green. So these two wires out of the ASWC one is what we're going to use. And wiring harness adapter by Metra, which you'll find a link down below in the description. And then the harness for the new Pioneer unit. So that's basically all this is. This wire here specifically connects into the steering wheel control input on the radio. We'll kind of walk you through. This is self-detecting and programming, so we don't even have to do any series of sequences of volume ups or downs, which is nice. That's it. Any questions about this wiring, just post a comment below. But basically, this will plug into the factory harnesses, and this will go into our new Pioneer, and then we'll locate the two specific wires to tap these into from the steering wheel, and then all this plugs into our new unit. That's it. So the first step here is we're going to remove the factory unit. Basically, this comes out exposing the 10mm bolts up underneath. We're going to remove those bolts, and then the rest are held on with clips. So with this video, you kind of get a panel tool up underneath. As you can see, this just pops out. It's gentle. Don't want to scratch anything up. These tools are nice. And we don't necessarily have to unplug that. We can actually just leave that as is. Exposes 4 10mm bolts. What I use to get that out, you can use a ratchet, or you can use one of these guys with just the 10mm socket. Get up underneath and get those pulled out. Okay, so we pulled those 4 bolts out right there. There's 2 right there, and then there's 2 right up in there. Kind of dark. And then that exposes, basically, you kind of get your hand underneath, just like that. Now unplug the harnesses in the back and we'll show you. Okay, so we got our 2 main harnesses, and then this harness is the steering wheel controls, which will tap into these wires for the ASWC one. Remember, we had those 2 bare wires. That'll locate the wires according to our schematics to tap into, so the steering wheel controls will work on our new Pioneer unit. Now, before we actually get all this in, as you notice with our dash kit here that we've put together already, the seat belt and all the information here we have to transfer from this unit, from the old factory one. So we're gonna unscrew that, screw it into the new unit. Okay, so I transferred over the airbag light and the clock and the hazard switch. They're just held in with clips on each side. So pop that out, the other one, pop it into the new one. The Scosche kit all ready to go. So next thing before we put the unit in is we're gonna tap into the steering wheel control harness to get the correct wires and go from that point. Okay, so got the wiring for the ASWC one steering wheel controls. Now the way this works, the green-orange wire goes to the violet-white. The black-green goes to the yellow-black. and the white red goes to a ground, which it just tapped into the ground. Black. Nice thing is there's only 3 wires there, and you use all 3. They all have a function. Again, these 2 go to the ASWC1 control module. And then this guy just taps into a ground. It's just required for a ground. And that's it. So there's our connections. Our adapters plug into the factory radio harness. And then this had a harness, but since we're not using this at all, I just cut it off. And then tap those 3. Everything's crimped nicely for the steering wheel controls. So this plugs into our new radio. And then pull it out here for you. And then this plugs into the steering wheel control input on the new radio as well. Now before we put the new radio in, we need to run our Bluetooth mic. And I'll put it up on the A-pillar right there and run it all the way up to the stereo cavity. Okay, so I ran the Bluetooth mic. I just tucked the wire up in here and then just down the rubber seal to the floor. And then I just tucked it back behind the carpet, completely out of the way of anything. And then I used the hanger and fished it up here. So this will plug into the back of the unit. So at this point, we are about ready to hook everything up and get these steering wheel controls programmed with the ASWC1 by Axis or Metra. And basically reassembly, and that's about it. Okay, so I have everything just temporarily hooked up. Everything to the back of the unit. So we're gonna cycle on the key. You're gonna notice, so this is going already through all the turn down the radio there, going through, and that should be it. Yep, look at that. Toyotas, Scions, and Lexuses are nice because they're auto detect and it does it for you. Some vehicles you'll hold volume up or tap volume up. Good to go. The way you know this has all been programmed correctly is the LED stays on solid and everything works. You hit the mode, it changes through, and then you can do track up, track down, and volume. So any questions about ASWC1, you can check their website, call customer service, or just post a comment below and maybe be able to help you. This is very straightforward in this vehicle. So at this point, make sure everything's plugged in, both to the radio and to the clock, everything down at the bottom, which we'll have to obviously fix the time. And let's reassembly. Okay, one note before you put it back. The Scosche kit did not come with these yellow clips. You have to take them off the factory radio, and there's 5 of them. So, all right. I may be able to do this all with one hand. We'll kind of see. Take everything back in behind, just so there's plenty of room for the unit to fit. Really should just clip on in like that. Now remember, you have to put in the 4 bolts that we used before, same exact spot. It's better. There's those 2, then one there, and one up there. Okay, all back together. Everything works great. If you have any questions about this install, like I said before, post a comment below. Be sure to like and subscribe as well. If you have any comments about any other vehicles that you'd like to see done, let me know. I occasionally come across those vehicles. So at this point, installation is complete. Mic works well. Steering wheel controls work great. Again, that unit's called the ASWC1 by Axis. They're about $40 to $50 on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.